What I'm about to do with you today, right now, is called direct influence, by speaking to you directly. One of the things that you need to understand is we live in a world where it's all about principles and laws. It doesn't care about your sentiments. Whether you believe it or not, you are where you are because of what you know. If right now your life is sad, you are angry, you are emotional, you are sentiment, it is not the problem around you. External factors are always going to be a problem, but what is within you is what changes everything. So we are talking about something very powerful, and the title of my message for today is...
This person we are about to introduce, he is a retail trading psychologist, as well as he is a light speaker whose mastering of the forex market is second to none. He is the lead mentor at Cleo's Pro. Let's welcome to the podium Clifford Cheqona.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to each and every single person here in this house. Also, I want to thank the organizers of Influencers Conference for having me. My name is Cliff Cheqona, and this is my second time in this conference. And every single time that I'm invited to this conference or any other conference, the first thing that I do is I take my time and meditate on the theme. And as I was meditating on this year's theme, it says, influencing the youth, inclusion for change. So when I sat down and I said, God, what am I about to talk about today? And you see, there are different type of things that happens to somebody when you are being influenced. Number one, that will be the capacity itself. Number two is the effect. And number three is the medium of how you influence something. There are different type of influences, and that is direct influence, indirect influence, negative and positive. And so when I sat down here, and as I was listening to as I told you, amazing presentation, one of the things that I just realized was that, yes, social media is influencing people. Yes, this person is influencing another person, but there are different type of influences. That is one thing you need to understand. What I'm about to do with you today, right now, is called direct influence, by speaking to you directly. Then we have the one that everybody was talking about, which is role modeling influence. The people you like and admire, you watch them, they influence you. Does that make sense? And so I didn't come here to basically just speak. As I said, it's not about me. I was praying with my team, and I asked them. One of them said something, said, Clifford, what will make a difference on the stage is not how you speak, it's you speak with love. You see, one of the things that you need to understand is we live in a world where it's all about principles and laws. It doesn't care about your sentiments. I always say this, whether you believe in the law of gravity or not, if you jump from a 50th story building, you will go down. Let's say you come to me and you tell me, Cliff, why are you always talking about gravity? I don't believe it. No problem. Jump. If you jump from a 50th story building, you will go down. So you want your life to change. It doesn't change by sentiment. It doesn't change by emotions. It changes by knowledge. So when I say that I'm coming here today to talk to you about direct influence, what I'm bringing is light. So one of the titles that, you will hear them call me is a light speaker. My goal is to make sure when I speak to you, something must happen to you. And I believe in it a lot. You are where you are because of what you know. Whether you believe it or not, you are where you are because of what you know. If right now your life is sad, you are angry, you are emotional, you are sentiment, it is not the problem around you. External factors are always going to be a problem, but what is within you is what changes everything. So we are talking about something very powerful, and the title of my message for today is the power of the subconscious mind. And I was very excited when I already heard that being spoken about already. It says the power of the subconscious mind. In other words, I am my dominating thought. Does that make sense? If you're writing something down, I am my dominating thought. And I want you to underline the word I am. I am my dominating thought. You see, I want you to imagine yourself right now like a pilot. If you're about to fly a plane, the first thing that the pilot will do is he will first of all input and adjust to the altitude, steer it to the point where the plane can switch to an autopilot. The autopilot is able to behave the way it behaves because it has already received command from the pilot. So your subconscious mind is what is below your conscious mind. So your subconscious mind basically is a slave to your conscious mind. What you have trained yourself to become is what you leave on autopilot. Now, I know that sometimes when you go on social media, there are a lot of information, there are a lot of things that will make you think that what I'm about to say, how can it change your life? And I'm going to show you something very powerful. And I'm speaking from two different directions. Number one, I'm speaking from a spiritual side. And number two, I'm speaking from a science background. So one of the first things you need to understand is before you believe every single thing I will say, you need to understand my testimony. If you would have met me years ago, probably you wouldn't like me. I'm a product of mental transformation. I used to do music and I was so interested in doing music. I really wanted to blow up so bad. But one thing that I just realized was words were going to always be my mission, but I was putting it in the wrong place. That is it. It doesn't mean that if you're doing music is bad. I was just using my words in the wrong area. And so, I studied, my medical, journey. I did my medical journey in, Ukraine. And during those days, I was really broke, very broke. But that time I was still learning skills and so on and so forth. I've been in the financial market for a decade now, since 2012. And one of the things that I'll basically just say for you to understand is that even though I was broke, my sentiment didn't change my life. Now, I grew up a little bit in Ghana, in an African home, of course, with my grandmother. I didn't get a chance to grow with my mom and dad. However, every single time that I'm not feeling well, that is when I get the fried rice and the chicken with my grandma. So when I'm fine, I don't get the fried rice and the chicken. And then I saw that as a kid, as a part in a way. I don't need to tell the truth to get what I want. I just need to complain and I will get it. But little did I know that even though it was a pattern, it was creating something in my mind. So every single time that is like, Junior, are you okay? I said, I'm not, because I know if I say I am, then I'm not going to get what I want. Now, growing up, it got to a point when I started doing business, I realized that I was doing the same thing with even investors. So even if I'm supposed to meet them and tell them my business idea, I tell them how bad my life is, expecting them to have sympathy on me to switch up my life. But investors don't care about your sentiment. They care about numbers. Do you have a business idea or not? So I didn't know all of this. So I went to an event, just like how you guys are sitting here today. And in this event, it was a woman who was preaching. And again, I came from a background where we didn't see women preaching to be something that is supposed to be so. Why? I don't know. So I didn't open up my heart in the beginning to this woman when she was preaching, but she said something very profound. She said, every single time that I want God to do something for me, I say, thank you for what I don't even have yet. So if I'm praying for a sick person, I say, God, thank you for healing this individual. I say, come on now. It doesn't work. This is, what are you talking about? And at that time, I've seen other social media posts that is confirming my bias. It doesn't work. Stupid. It's not going to work, right? But then I was so broke that I told myself I have nothing to lose. If I practice it and it doesn't work, I go back to my default life. Went back home, started practicing it. Wrote down every single thing I didn't have yet. God, thank you that I'm the best financial market trader. Thank you that I own a cafe. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Now, my life didn't change, but guess what started happening? God started linking me to light. So what don't you know about laws and principles? What do you know about gratitude? Do you say thank you because you think it will say that you don't respect? Or you say thank you because you understand that you saying thank you is a law of multiplication? Light. So now what did I started doing? God, thank you for the fried rice and chicken. I don't have it yet. It's possible there is no rice even in the house. But that's not the point. Laws. Now, if you're a Christian, where do you find that? You will find that when Jesus saw that there were a whole lot of multitude who were hungry, and he says, what do we then do? If you follow that story, it's very interesting. He went and asked one of his disciples, what do we do? And he says, even if it's 5 denarii, whatever, what can he do? And he didn't say anything to them. And he came and said, there is a boy. And our disciples said, there is a boy. He has this and he has that. He says, have the people sit down. Order. Then he rose up the bread, he rose up the fish, and he gave thanks. Right after that, he distributed it. So when you are not reading the Bible, you know this is light. So every single time I have $1, instead of you saying, all I have is $1, you say, God, thank you. Now, what started happening right there is something started happening to your life. Now, as I said in the beginning, I said that whether you believe in laws or not, and this is the problem of I've not even really started teaching, but I want to establish a structure of understanding for you to know. If you don't get this foundation, anything I will say wouldn't change you. It wouldn't help you. So, the first thing you need to understand is this world does not move by your sentiments. It does not move by your emotions. It does not move by what you believe or you don't believe, or that zodiac sign person, their vibe you don't like. It's not about Aquarius. It's not about Cancer. None of that. It's about laws and principles. And you see, one of the laws of the principles is this. There is something called a law of territory. The law of territory says you cannot live in any territory that you are not made of the components. That is why in school, you cannot wear another school's uniform and go to another school. They have a law. You can wear McDonald's and go work for KFC. It's a law, whether spiritually or physically. Same thing with the law of this territory, living as a man. You cannot live on earth without a mortal body. So your bones is like stones, scientifically. Your skin is like the sand. The 70% of water in your body is just like the earth. Now there is something that mediates what you see and what you don't see. It's called the mind. And the mediator is where we get the word media from. So now the next time you know how powerful the media is, it's only as powerful as how it influences your mind. Am I making sense? Now the moment you start understanding this, you know that, listen, if I don't protect my mind, something will happen to my destiny. Because it's not about how many times have you heard a song over and over again, but you didn't put it in your AirPods? You just heard it somewhere, maybe in a party in your neighborhood, and one time they start playing it and you start singing the lyrics. You didn't pick up the book to write down the lyrics. For what happened? Your subconscious mind will pick it up. So one thing that you need to understand is this, is that what we are about to talk about here today is about you understanding that you are your dominating thoughts. Now, whether you say it out loud or not, listen to this carefully now. When I say that, you should say that I am my dominating thought, it means you are creating a belief system. You are your dominating thought, whether you believe it or not. So at the end of the day, when I came back home, as I said, I started practicing gratitude. God started linking me to books. I started reading books. I read my first book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and I realized there is something called a financial thermostat. What that simply means is that you will always represent your mind, your income. So no matter how much I know how to trade, trading since 2012, if you have been in the financial market before, you understand what I mean. One time I prayed over my account. I'll never forget this. In 2014, I said, God of Abraham, God of Jacob, please don't let my account blow. And the account was blowing. I lost all my money in the financial market because it wasn't about the technical skills. It's about something you don't know. So according to the law of the financial thermostat says, you can win a lottery of $1 million. But listen to this carefully now, that if you force anything good to manifest prematurely, life will design series of events to take it from you. It's a law. So one thing that you need to understand is this. What am I trying to let you understand today? That social media has power, but it only has power on you to the level you allow it. So the first thing that you need to understand is, if you are your dominating thought, then where do you start from? The first thing that you do is you start from awareness. So one thing I want you guys to understand here today is that, as I said, there are different types of influence. One of them is called direct influence, and that is what I'm doing here today. And what I'm giving you is information. I'm going to give you a couple of few information right now for that you will understand that when you leave here today, you will no more see those things as motivation anymore. So if somebody says that I am blessed, it's not just words. The word I am is what your subconscious mind hear as a command. Okay, we all know ChatGPT. It only responds to command. That is how your brain works. It's a command center. So if you say I am, the subconscious mind will hear you. Anything else other than that, it doesn't believe it. So you will find people, so now when you say I am broke, because people say that a lot, then I am rich. So your subconscious mind now receive that as a prompt and say, oh, he's broke. So now he's going to walk like that. He's going to talk like that. He's going to complain like that, and your life will never change. Now you don't need to believe this for it to work. This is the beautiful part. You just need to do it. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. Okay, people come to me and say, Cliff, I said smile. You say, I'm not going to smile. Why? Because I'm not happy. You don't need to be happy to smile. What is a smile? A smile is you widen the corners of your lip and you show your teeth. That is a smile. And the time that you start smiling, your heart starts to feel it. Okay, when you go to the gym, something happens to your body. Your body starts to release chemicals called endorphins. What it does is that it's fighting the stress system in your body. The same when you have stress, cortisol is in your body. It is a chemical. So you start acting based on the chemical in your body. I always make this example, and I'm pretty much sure we are all a little bit older here, so I'm going to do it. Let's say you don't want to do anything with any guy, and then you go to the guy's room. Okay, you don't want to do anything with a guy. You say, I'm not going to do anything. It's not about you. It's where he touch. It's called physiology. Does that make sense? So even if you don't want to do something with him, you will still end up doing it anyways because he touched somewhere that created a chemical in your body. So same thing about I am blessed. The moment you start saying it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, chemicals start releasing into your body. Now the same weak you that came into this room that is confused and angry about how the world and the systems are working can sit down in this atmosphere and say, I am blessed. I am successful. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and you walk out differently. You don't need to believe me to understand this, but it is true. So every single time that you are tired of life, what needs to come out of your mouth is not how tired you are. You can say that I am strong. So you don't get what you want, you get who you are. Again, as I always say, I used to always tell my mentees, and I always tell them something very interesting. They always keep on telling me, Cliff, why is it that I can't stop myself from over trading? And I tell myself that you can't stop yourself from over trading because it is not you that loves over trading, it's the habit you have built. And as our wonderful panelist was talking about habits, this is the beautiful thing. Habit is formed in a 3-dimensional loop. Cue, trigger, reward. So you get something triggered with a cue, whatever cue it is, and then so you reward yourself. Now the reward is the most powerful thing. Anytime that you get yourself rewarded, what happens is that it starts creating something permanent. So in trading, again, if you're not a trader but you understand investment, you understand this concept very well. In trading, we call something cognitive biases. It's a psychological problem. I only talk about psychology in trading. I don't do anything technicals, whatever. You can do it, whatever you want. Psychology is the most difficult part because you can learn the skill set and nothing will still change for you in the financial market. It's about how your mind works. So we call something cognitive biases. In cognitive biases, we call something loss aversion. Loss aversion is the tendency of you not wanting to lose more than your desire to gain. So what that simply means, let's say you have put $1,000 in an investment firm, anything, and then you start losing that money. What is going to happen is you are going to want to do anything not to lose. You're not going to do anything to win the money back, but anything not to lose. By the time you will try fighting not to lose, you end up losing everything. So what do some of the retail traders do? They will say, I'm going to remove my stop loss. It will never go there. You are joking. It's going to go there because you're not the market. Then they remove the stop loss. And what happens is it keeps on going down, 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 down. And then they're like, it's going to come back again. Now he's being hopeful. As I said, it's about business. It's about laws and principle, not your sentiment. Now, one thing that you need to understand is after you have become aware that something is wrong with your life, how do you know something is wrong with your life? When you are not happy with your current state. Now you tell me, Cliff, is it money? No, it's not. What is success? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. If you tell yourself you want to become a mother and you're able to achieve that, you are successful. It's when you go on social media and you're comparing yourself, it's what it happens like that. So you want to be a father? Congratulations. You will know that at the end of the day, you have been able to achieve your goal. But if you say that I want to become a millionaire, what you are basically saying, I want to get a mindset of a millionaire. What you are saying there now, you are in trouble. Because being a millionaire is not a joke. You need to have a certain kind of mindset. So there are certain different kinds of mindset you need to possess to have a different kind of realities. How do you know this? That at the end of the day, if I want to know what you believe, I will look at what is following you. The Bible says something very profound. It says, these signs shall follow those who believe. So what do you believe? So I don't care about what anybody have called you. I don't care about what you've heard before you enter this room. The only thing that I care about is what you said you are after the word I am. And I want to give you guys anybody who is really serious that want to change their life. I want you to write down 4 or 3 things that you believe that you are after the word I am. And I want us to do something very interesting this afternoon. Because I know that, in this atmosphere like this is so weird that I'm not even talking about social media, because it has no power over you if your mind is right. So we're going to do something very interesting. When we are done, you will now start to understand what next you need to go to the next level. My goal today is not so that I will speak in a way for you to say, oh, this guy is speaking smart. As I said, it's not about me. It's about what can make you leave this room today and say, I came to Influencers Conference and I was influenced. So number 1, the first thing I want us to do practically is you are going to write something that follows I am. Everybody, if we all can do it will be very great. Unless maybe you didn't come here to get influenced. So what are you? If you are blessed, say I am blessed. If you are a king, say I am a king. If you are successful, say I am successful. And I want to show you something. While you are writing, I want to tell you why what you are doing is very powerful. When I asked you guys a question and I said, if you watch a movie, you can watch a movie 10 years ago, a movie you watched 10 years ago, you can watch it in 2024, and physical tears will come from your eyes in 2024. That is how powerful the mind is. So if I tell you right now that I want you to play a role of a successful multi-millionaire businessman, let me believe you so much to the point where at the back of my seat watching the movie, I'll go like, who is this rude millionaire? But maybe probably you are not. So the truth of the matter is, what we are going to do right now is that you are about to now envision the 5 years you. All I want you to do today is that you are going to take away the information you write about you today. You're going to go home and do something. I'll show you after that. That you can sit down and say, my name is Cliff Cheqona and I did this. I have so many witnesses in my team. I did it so much that I picked up my own phone. I still have some of the recordings. If time permits me, I'll play it and show you guys. Recorded years ago. And every single time I wake up, my own voice, I am blessed. My name is Cliff Cheqona, and I'm happy and grateful now that I'm a financially free individual. I have this, I have that. I kept on listening to it over and over and over and over again until I started working like it. Now, one of the things I want you to understand is this. If your ears can listen to music, your ears can listen to your destiny. You see, one of the things that you need to understand is this. Words are older than you. He says, in the beginning was the word. In the beginning, not the human being. The word. So what that simply means is that before you even enter your Sunday, your word can wait for you in this direction. Let me show you. Have you seen how a president will walk into a building and there is Secret Service, whatever agent, police standing beside him? That is how you can arrange your words to wait for you in your tomorrow. Do you believe this? That you can actually say that I am blessed and I'm blessed will wait for you tomorrow. You can say I am favored and I'm favored will wait for you tomorrow. That if you are here and something is making you feel the things I'm saying, it's not Cliff Cheqona. I told you something. I said, before I come to any event, I ask the Holy Spirit, what do you want to say to them? Somebody asked me an interesting question. Cliff, how are you a businessman and still serve God? What are you talking about? Who do I serve? Where should the influence come from then? So we can complain in every single thing, but the goal is that the youth can say enough is enough. So I want you to leave this auditorium today and tell yourself, I am tired of my current level, by not sentiment. What then do? I am blessed. The moment you start doing that, you know what the life will do? It will start bringing you books. Your friend will not call you out of the blue and say, have you read this book before? Now what then do? You're going to go through a 3-dimensional process. Unlearn, relearn, and learn. You only unlearn with humility. As I told you before, the woman was preaching. I said, which woman is this? Where I come from, we don't listen to women preach. But I'm pretty much the Holy Spirit said, be humble. It is out of this woman that you will get your blessings. And she said, anytime that you thank God for what you don't have yet, something happens to your life. I took it in and it started changing my life. Just like how you have come here today, I'm telling you there is power in the word I am. So what are you doing? You are reprogramming your subconscious mind. How do you reprogram your subconscious mind? By something called the law of repetition. The law of repetition says every single time something is in your mind over and over again, something must happen to your life. So I will walk into this room today. I'm going to paint a picture for you to motivate you and provoke you a little bit. You came in here and you are confused because you don't even know how to change your life. Probably you don't even know how to be able to make the money that you're looking for. Your rent, whatever it is, that's not the problem. But you came here today and you heard me speak and you said, Cliff, you are saying I am is a powerful word. Correct. How many things can you add to the I am of this place? And this is what you then do. Every single time you wake up in the morning, there's a very beautiful thing in the area of psychology, and I'm pretty much sure you agree. It's called cognitive diffusion. Okay, so cognitive diffusion is when you are able to distort something that looks like a reality to make it look like something that you want. So, for example, if somebody crosses me on the road and maybe he made me almost get angry, I go, like, probably he's a doctor. He's probably going to save a life. Why? Why am I doing that? Right? He's probably a doctor because if I let that emotion enter me, he's already gone. What's going to happen to me is I will take the anger into my house and start programming the life I don't want. So what you're going to do today is to understand that you can diffuse what you don't like in your mind. So my question to you is, what do you believe right now? What do you believe? I may not be able to have the time to be able to give you guys all the notes you're going to take, but if this is all that you came to hear, that you are blessed, I have done something to your mind. No matter the social media, I always tell people this. When I started my social media account, back in the days when Instagram posting here and there, because I've been trading for a decade, there are people that I know that started trading now, and they have a lot of followers. And sometimes I go on the Instagram page and they're like, oh, you have been trading for 12 years. Why didn't we hear about you? But then the Holy Spirit is like, keep on doing trading psychology only. Sometimes I enter rooms and I'm desperate to come and show the card that I entered, and the gala I went to, the Holy Spirit said, no, focus on just educational materials. And then I remember a few months ago, I was devastated because I could just quit the social media stuff and just go back to my life, and that is it. But then what then happened was I told my team, maybe I should be done with all these social media stuff because it's actually stressful. As I'm talking to you today, God blew my mind a couple of days ago. Posted an affirmation video as I'm talking to you guys right now. And I said, I am. And I added so many things. As I'm talking to you guys today, the video is almost at 600,000 views. So at the end of the day, one of the things that you need to understand is this. When God says that you are blessed, there is nothing anybody can do about it. But he gave you a certain power, and it's called the word, because he won't be able to come and speak for you. So he said, listen, if you also say you are blessed, you are blessed. But you need to make sure you believe it to the point that you start to walk like it. So Cliff, do you have 1 million? No. But are you a millionaire? Yes. Does that make sense? So right now, if they give me a time and we're going to do something before you wrap up, please, I'm sorry. We're going to do something right now. Whatever that you wrote down after the I am, you are going to repeat to yourself in 3 minutes. I'm going to do the same, and we are all going to do it together right now. And what we are trying to do right now is I'm trying to create a belief system in your heart. And that belief system is when you leave this place and you go to your home, nothing can stop you afterwards. Now you know that if I am in this level of financial illiteracy, there is something I can do. I can get knowledge. If I don't like the way I walk into rooms and I am not impressing anyone, there is something you can do. Back then I used to speak and I used to do basically, and I said, no, you don't know how to speak. Go learn how to speak. Does that make sense? Be humble and learn how to speak. So I sat down and I started learning how to speak. When I stood here now, you have not heard any because every single time you're doing basically it means your mouth is going faster than your brain. So slow down. There is no problem. If I slow down and pause for a second and look into your eyes and I touch you and I say, how are you doing? There is no problem. Does that make sense? So we're going to do something right now. Whatever that you wrote down that you said you are, I want you to repeat it in 3 minutes. I'm going to set a timer right now here, and I hope that the organizers don't beat me up, but it's very important that somebody get influenced. So at the end of the day, in 3 minutes, this is what we're going to do right now. In the next 3 minutes, you're going to repeat after yourself. You're going to say that I am blessed. I can see there's a background sound right now. Can we increase it a little bit up? Because it's not about my voice anymore. It's about what they are hearing about themselves saying it. That you are blessed. I'm going to lead you a little bit now. That if you say that I am blessed, you are doing something right now. Remember the law. Okay, if you all can get on your seats and get some energy going on, that would be great. So one of the things that you need to understand right now is this. What you're about to do right now is you are doing something I want you to go home with. That something is going to happen to your mind after you do this. You don't need to believe me. Just do it. You're going to repeat to yourself the things you've written down. And you have to be so angry that it's about your destiny. It's not about Cliff. It's not about anything. It's about you taking hold of your life. Now listen, the social media has so many annoying things. The things I'm seeing, there are so negativity, but my mind can be preserved by myself. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to repeat after yourself in the next 3 minutes. As I said, I'm going to give you guys some time. Just repeat it to yourself right now. Who are you? I am. Let's go. Forget about what you are hearing from the individual. It's about yourself. In 3 minutes. If you are blessed, say I am blessed. I am successful, I am successful. If you are courageous, you are courageous. If you are a successful trader, repeat it after yourself. If you are disciplined, I'm disciplined. This is not a prayer. This is called declaration. This is the power that you have gotten from God, knowing that if you speak something into the atmosphere, something might happen to your mind. And while you are saying it, I want you to add some smile to it. Smile and say, I'm blessed. Smile and say, I'm a queen. Smile and say, I'm a king. Smile. You are successful. I believe you. And I want you to start believing that in your heart right now. That enough is enough. You have heard things that is making your mind negative. You have heard things that is making you always feel down and negative. But enough is enough. You can speak to yourself to let your mind release chemicals in your body to work like it. And I promise you this, in the next couple of few minutes when you are done, I will take 1 or 2 people to ask you a question and ask you how you feel. But I want you to smile while doing it. Say that I'm great. I am 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 great. You keep on repeating it to yourself over and over again because you are adding the word I am. Something is happening to your mind. It's called the command of the subconscious mind. I want you to repeat to yourself, I'm great. We have 1 minute. Don't be tired because your mind is trying to reject it. It's called the conditioned mind. It's a lie. But you are blessed. You are great. You are blessed. You are great. You are blessed. You are great. We have less than 1 minute to go. And this time around, I want you to start shouting it. Don't care about whoever is standing near you. I am blessed. You are blessed. We have less than 30 seconds to go. And I want you to this time around, shout it like you believe it. That if you are the businessman that you want people to know that you are, say that I am a successful businessman. That when you now go home, something must happen to your life. Enough is enough. Nobody has come to save the youth. But we need to rise to a level of knowledge. We need to rise to a certain point that we know that if we are contacting light, something must happen to our destiny. Because you are where you are because of what you know. You are where you are because of what you know. Now we have 10 seconds to go. In these 10 seconds, this auditorium must shake. Whatever 3 things we have said, I want you to pick one of them out of it. And I'm going to ask you to shout it 5 times out loud. Pick one of them. Are you ready? In 1, 2, 3, shout the first one. The second one. The third one. The fourth one. Now the last one, I want this auditorium to shake. And I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause. You see what we have done right now? I want to ask you guys, how do you feel? You are blessed. I told you that it's not about me today. Forget about Cliff. The Holy Spirit said he wants you to believe something. And no matter the belief system you came here with today, you will live the same. You will not live the same way again. And I believe it. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cliff Cheqona. Unfortunately, we can't do justice a lot to this note. But I hope that you believe that you are still blessed. Thank you.